welcome back. I hope you had a good weekend. Couple announcements. 2nd and 3rd grade Seesaw is up and running. So your color wheels from last week, if you haven't had a chance to upload, get onto Seesaw, find your art class, and hit the activities button and click add response so you can upload your color wheels. We have a new exciting art experience for this week. Remember that this art at home should be really fun. You should be drawing. If you're someone who really loves to draw, make sure that you're drawing, looking at things around the house to draw. But something to keep our minds busy. This week we are going to continue with that idea of found objects. So using things around our house. But I found a really amazing artist whose name is Hanoch Piven. He's from Israel and he creates art using found objects. He's really famous for it. So I wanted to share a little bit about Hanoch Piven with you, and then I want us to play around with the idea of how we can make our own found object self-portraits using objects that we have at our
I'm a guy who plays with objects, I guess. I have been creating with objects for the last 25 years. I basically draw with objects because I can't draw. I don't know how to draw. I'm not very good at it. And failing in traditional drawing has been the biggest source of creativity for me. That drove me to look for other ways of doing things, to question all the assumptions on how a portrait should be. And that led me to find my own way of doing portraits. I was drawing a portrait of Saddam Hussein and it just wasn't happening for me. And then suddenly I saw this box of matches and I said, how about I put the matches as the mustache? A big part of being creative is to challenge all the assumptions. You allow yourself to ask the simple childish question, why does it have to be that way? Maybe it can be another way. There is a lot of inspiration in the process itself. To start the process with failure, to allow yourself to fail. But once you are there, the failures lead to success. I was commissioned by Rolling Stone magazine to make a portrait of Homer Simpson. And I couldn't come up with good ideas. I was drawing little sketches, I didn't like them, and I kept throwing them to the garbage can in my studio. And then I looked at the garbage can in the studio and it just looked exactly like the mouth of Homer Simpson. Happy accidents are, in a way, the greatest gift to any creative person. They're there all the time, and most people don't see them. And you need to train yourself to see them. For me, creativity is definitely about not to do things always the same way. Creativity is about challenging the preconceptions of how things should be.
All right, artists, before you can make your found object portrait, you have to have a portrait drawn out that you can put your found objects over the top. This is just a regular piece of printer paper. You could use the back of something if you don't even have regular clean paper. I just drew kind of a portrait here, just a basic neck and head, just with a pencil, and I wanted to make it as big as I could to fill up the whole page, because the bigger that you create this, the more space you'll have to be able to put objects over the top of it, because that's what Hanoch Piven did. Now, he was a little bit, had a little bit more tools than maybe we have, but if you have the tools at home, you can also make a painted version. So I just kind of used some paint I didn't even have the colors I wanted. I sort of had to mix what things I had. Hanoch Piven did more with painting, so this is his traditional style. If you don't have paints and you want to do more than just draw, I used some construction paper. I didn't even have the right sizes, so I had to kind of cut and be creative. But all of these different templates are going to be the place where I can now put my objects over the top. So I want you to be creative. That's your first step, is to create the portrait face. Think about who the portrait's going to be, because that might change who the face is. Or if it's just going to be some random person, it can look however you'd like it to be. Now that I have created my portrait, I can start putting those found objects over the top. I went out into my garage because I found all sorts of found objects, and I even decided to build my portrait out there. Notice the different things you see here, some vegetables from my garden, just different things I found. But what I want you to do is to play around with different ideas. Don't just make one portrait, try multiple portraits. I found lots of different things and I thought, what if I do this? We tried some different ideas for the eyes. I worked together with other people in my family. We found some natural things that we wanted to use, so those are an option. Playing around with a little mustache there. Then I tried one of my different portraits just because I had more than one, but I sort of played around with trying to make hair, a mouth. So I had some different ideas. These were laundry pods. So boys and girls, I want you now to build a portrait. And once you have a portrait or mini portraits, take a couple pictures so you have multiple ideas and decide which ones you think look the best.